Hello dear viewers and welcome back to our channel. Picture yourself stepping into the hallowed courtyard of St. James's Palace, the afternoon sun dancing on centuries-old brickwork, heralding a summit that promised to reshape Britain's destiny. This was no ordinary gathering of dignitaries, it was King Charles III's Youth Opportunity Summit, a high-stakes forum where impassioned young voices met the weighty expectations of royalty. But beneath the polished speeches and enthusiastic applause lurked a parallel drama, whispers of fraternal rifts, the echo of broken bonds, and a poignant reminder that unity begins at home. The moment you enter St. James's, history envelops you. Here, Tudor monarchs once strode, Georgian kings held grand balls, Victorian courtiers whispered court intrigue in shadowed alcoves. Today, however, it was youth, not tradition, that took precedence. Guests arrived in a flurry of anticipation. Idris Elba, exuding casual confidence, exchanged warm greetings with Baroness Tanni Grey-Thompson, her Paralympic medals glinting like silent testaments to triumph over adversity. Behind them, clusters of young beneficiaries of the King's Trust shared animated conversations, survivors of violence, champions of mental health reform, tech innovators rebuilding post-industrial towns. Each face reflected the summit's promise, that opportunity can transform lives and, by extension, heal communities. Inside the gilded ballroom, the king took to the podium with characteristic dignity. Draped in the subtle embroidery of his coronation robe, he sounded notes of urgency rather than ceremony. "We must unlock potential," he urged, voice resonant, and bridge the divides between government, charities, and community volunteers. He paused, surveying the room. "So I ask you, how do we join up all the dots? How do we ensure that no bright idea withers on the drawing board?" It was a rhetorical challenge, a gauntlet thrown at every stakeholder. No more scattered efforts, no more fragmented policies. True impact, he insisted, would arise only through seamless collaboration. But royal pronouncements alone don't move mountains. The summit's soul lay in lived experiences. Aisha Thompson, a graduate of a mobile learning program in the Scottish Highlands, described how access to remote classes saved her education and led her to launch an artisan cooperative that employs dozens of young craftspeople. "Opportunity," she declared, eyes shining, "can revive even the most isolated communities." Murmurs of agreement rippled through the hall. Here was proof that targeted initiatives could spark grassroots revitalization. Next, Kyle Shaw-Tulin rose with quiet confidence. A Royal Marine and London youth boxing champion, he recounted a knife attack in Oldham that nearly ended his life. "I felt my future slip away," he admitted, gripping the lectern. Yet from that night of blood and fear, he found discipline in the ring and purpose in service. "Adversity," he said, "became my greatest teacher." The room fell silent, his story a visceral reminder that trauma, when met with support and structure, can be a catalyst for resilience rather than defeat. Sir Keir Starmer, seated front and centre, wiped away a glint of emotion before he spoke. In a rare cross-party display, he announced increased funding for youth mental health services and streamlined apprenticeships for disadvantaged regions. "This is not left or right," he emphasized, "but right and wrong, no young person should be denied a chance to thrive." His pledge underscored the summit's core message: youth welfare transcends politics. Perhaps the most candid moment arrived when Idris Elba stepped forward, shedding his celebrity sheen for the earnestness of an activist. "We've come far," he acknowledged, "but far too many talented young people remain marginalized. In our cities and towns, pockets of despair still choke ambition." He cited sobering data: youth unemployment in former mill towns, rising rates of anxiety and isolation in rural areas. His frank appraisal tempered the summit's optimism with a sobering reality check: progress requires hard truths. Yet as applause swelled, an unspoken narrative pulsed beneath the surface: the royal family's own fracture. This very year, headlines blazoned peace talks between Prince William and Prince Harry, secret meetings aimed at healing a decade-long rift. Royal historian Hugo Vickers warned that William's trust had been deeply wounded by perceived jibes at Catherine, transforming brotherly love into wary distance. On this day, William's absence spoke louder than any oration. An empty seat in the front row carried the weight of a family divided, a summit on unity held against the backdrop of royal discord. The summit then shifted to interactive workshops. In one corner, youth-led tech pioneers debated digital skills academies. In another, community organizers strategized outreach in underserved urban neighborhoods. The king roamed among flip charts and sticky notes, probing details. Who will measure progress? How do we secure sustainable funding? Observers noted his intensity. This was not a perfunctory photo op, but a mission he carried as passionately as any campaign he's championed. Behind the scenes, aides hustled to coordinate live-streaming feeds and compile keynote summaries. Press photographers jostled for angles, hungry for images of a monarchy in action. And yet, amid the bustle, staff whispered about the poignancy of the heir's non-attendance. Was it a calculated gesture? A reluctant concession? Or simply the latest twist in a saga that refuses to fade? Such questions lingered like shadows in a palace corridor, reminding everyone that public unity often masks private strife. As afternoon waned, the summit's finale unfolded in the palace gardens. Lanterns glowed against manicured hedges, a string quartet's harmonies softened the evening air. King Charles returned center stage to present certificates to workshop champions, young leaders whose proposals earned royal endorsement. Then, in a symbolic gesture, he invited Aisha, Kyle and Idris to stand beside him under the arching boughs of an ancient oak. Applause echoed through the courtyard, uniting lived experience, celebrity influence and royal patronage in one evocative tableau. And yet, even as glasses clinked, the royal fissure remained. Photographers scanned the crowd for two brothers who once stood shoulder to shoulder. Instead, only one figure graced the final photograph. The irony was inescapable. A summit designed to mend societal divides, shadowed by a family division that gripped public imagination. So what does this all mean for the monarchy's future? On one hand, King Charles has shown a willingness to evolve beyond ceremonial pageantry, engaging directly, collaborating intimately, and leveraging the crown as a force for social good. His Youth Opportunity Summit demonstrated that the monarchy can still galvanize attention and resources toward pressing national challenges. On the other hand, the unresolved tension between his sons raises a stark question. Can Britain's symbol of unity effectively champion cohesion on the public stage while its own household remains fractured? Perhaps this tension is the essence of modern Windsor, a dynasty balancing tradition with transformation, spectacle with secrecy, public purpose with private pain. As the youngest beneficiaries departed St. James's clutching new opportunities, they carried both hope and contradiction. They proved that change is possible, yet never simple. What's your perspective on this delicate dance between public duty and family discord? Can a Youth Opportunity Summit heal Britain's divides when the family at its epicenter remains at war? Share your thoughts below. If this deep dive resonated, give us a like, subscribe and ring the bell to stay up to date on every twist in this royal saga. Until next time, keep your eyes on the palace and your hearts open to the stories behind the crowns.